Okay, this is for the master's class for Oostdijk and Kratzer. Jumping in on Rembrandt. This is the activity in the Discovering Great Artist books. You are welcome to do this. I opted to prepare not this. I feel like we did a lot of faces, and I think that creating shadow on faces is kind of complex for kind of where they all are. So I thought we would teach them maybe in a different way using still life. I know that Rembrandt was a portrait artist, but here we go. This is what I have prepared, and if you want to do something different, just let me know. This applies. As always, you guys are in charge of your students. So a couple notes here. Rembrandt lived from 1606 to 1669. He's best known for portraits. That's a good naming word. What is a portrait? The technique he used is chiaroscuro. Chiaroscuro. It's an Italian word meaning light, dark. In simple terms, it's just the technique artists use to create light and shadow. They use this technique to create depth, drama, 3D realism, and maybe draw the viewer's eye to a specific focal point. So looking at some of his works, we can see this. I think this is a really good example of creating a focal point. It's obvious the main character in this image of Rembrandt's. It would be good to attend this. How does he feel? He looks downtrodden to me. He looks sad and somber. I do like this little detail where kind of the tertiary character in this is this woman stoking the flames of the fire and how the light kind of illuminates her face. This is another one of Rembrandt's where we can see that the source of light is coming down at the angle, kind of brightening the table, and everything else is kind of in the shadows. This is another great one. For some reason, we are illuminating these two characters, and the source of light is coming maybe down from above, kind of here at the angle. And then this is a self-portrait, and it's kind of got subtle shadowing here. But yeah, so chiaroscuro. I will add this to your tutor notes. This is basically a breakdown of the kind of loosely firm plans we have for every artist each week. And it's got some naming ideas. Again, you can't do all of this, but you know, if it will help with your prep for your script, your short script early on, there's some things there. Okay, so with that, for your class, like I mentioned in the tutor notes, this is going to be a short activity, just kind of getting the dust out of everybody's brain. We will go over this. There'll be a printout of these at each table. And this just kind of talks about the different ranges of chiaroscuro using simple shapes. So we have the highlight, which is the brightest area. We have midtones, which are, you know, these kind of lightly shaded, and they move on a gradient scale from 10 being the lightest, 0 to the darkest, opacity. And then we have the deep shadow here. There's a little reflection light delineating the kind of break between the object and the cast shadow. So your students, if you want, will do a warm-up exercise. And they can do this in their, what is it called? Their sketchbooks. But it's going to be just this object. So we're going to focus on the cast shadow, the reflected light, the deep shadow, the midtones, and the highlight without any of this kind of like background area. So this is kind of a very quick warm up of that, but they'll just be using their pencil. They'll, you know, you can guide them through, you know, drawing their circle here. And then, you know, they'll need to come here. I would say light hands. I'll draw a little bit darker for you guys. They need to designate their highlighted space. an area for kind of their midtones, and then their dark tones will be here. They'll leave a little space between the casted shadow. This one looks like it comes out to about right here and circles there. And then in order to do the gradient, it's super simple. It's just light hands here. I'm gonna make that. I would probably do a light hand all over. Come in here, do a second heavier hand. Come down a little bit more. Do a stronger hand. And then even stronger here. And then they can just kind of go nuts here with a firm hand. And I'm just realizing this is a colored pencil, not a graphite pencil, but you get the gist. So that will be the warm-up. You will probably guide that part, I would imagine. But I think that gives them a very kind of quick curiosity into the technique of creating gradient and shadow and light reflection. It's the quickest kind of how-to I could do. And then this I thought is what they could do with a small sheet of watercolor paper or cardstock paper. I haven't quite decided. I want to use oil pastels this week just to kind of give them a new medium and then kind of transition them from drawing into paints. And so I thought they could do this. Every student will be given a pencil, some oil pastels, and a sheet of cards. This is cardstock and this is watercolor paint. I can't decide which one I'm gonna do yet. I know that watercolor paint isn't the best for cardstock, for oil pastels, but I think they both kind of reflect the project. So again, please take what you have at home and try to recreate your own, just to kind of model that. But I'm going to give you just a brief how-to of how to get them started on it. You know, if you think that they can go ahead and do this on their own and you know, establish the zones, great. But if I were to lead them, I also will give them, we have a ton of this and these acrylic sheets that we used for the sun prints. So each place will have this if they want to go ahead and tape down their image. And this is just for the older students. So I would probably have them start with the Pear and do some curved lines. If you hadn't done oils, this is a good time to kind of do this as you lead them. Okay, so there's my Pear. I would then kind of go in and create maybe like a small diamond shape where the stem will come from. So there's the stem. And then you'll take them through and just create that dark image background by creating a line down the center. And then if you can see here, there's a little kind of triangle that is kind of separating the cast shadow from the background. So I come around here and it kind of goes up and diagonally, and then this one kind of goes up and meets at the page. Even probably do that. So this area will be colored. This back area will be black. So black, black. And then in mine, I kind of did, I blended some with paper towels. I'll have those at the front as well if they want to try to blend it. But I kind of made this like lighter in this area, darker. Here, I did a gradient of brown, like black into brown. And then I went in with my Pear and just tried to create those same highlight midtones that we briefly discussed here. So I've identified this area as my highlight zone. This is, I'm going to square off as my like reflective, like keeping it white. So here I blended a color, like a couple of yellows together. And then on the outside, I did some oranges. Here I saw some green tints, so I added some green at the top. And these are this is what I kind of used for my cast shadow. So very simple assignment, but I think that they can spend a lot of time on it. And I also think that the smaller surface area works great. If they get done with that, they can grab another sheet of paper. I also turned this image, self-portrait of Rembrandt, into a black and white. If they wanted to attempt on a small surface to do a shadowy face and just the kind of black, gray, white scale, they could do that for the more advanced students. And that's what I have for them. I hope that helps. If you have any questions, reach out, but that is the master's project.